What's going on, people?
She sees that you're strong, she's gonna stay strong too.
JoJo, everybody, how y'all doing? Please excuse how I'm looking and the way I'm sounding, but I don't know, I'm a little hoarse and sorry. Just gonna see if a few more people gonna come on. I'm not gonna be here long because I'm still hurting really bad. But I just gotta tell you guys, hey Miss Jamise, just gotta tell you guys about how amazing God is. You may hear me kind of just pause for a second so I can catch my breath. So please just bear with me. I'm not going to go all the way from the beginning of the story because it is pretty long, but I will tell you some key points. Like most of you know that I have cancer, and I got diagnosed I think it was about a year ago, I got diagnosed with the cancer called squamous cell carcinoma. And had a tumor in my stomach, and the plan was to go through chemo and radiation for the tumor. Well, it wasn't in my stomach at first. It was kind of back towards like my rectal and all that stuff. And the plan was to do chemo and radiation at first, and the chemo and radiation would shrink the tumor. And well, I did the chemo and radiation, and the chemo and radiation, it kind of affected some of my organs, urinary organs to be exact. And ironically, it did not shrink the tumor, and the tumor got larger and larger. So the tumor started invading my urinary organs. So the tumor was going from the back of my body, like where the rectum is, and they thought it was about to penetrate my prostate and my bladder and all that stuff. So this is a humongous tumor. Y'all, there have been days where I've been in so much pain to where I will hyperventilate. There have been days where I've been in so much pain and my limbs would twist uncontrollably. I've been in the hospital and woke up with the crash cart in my room. It's been terrible. The chemo and radiation. The chemo and radiation at one point had me sick. So sick to where my wife would pretty much have to feed me, help me to the bathroom, and help me get in and out of the tub. It's just been a long journey. Well, the tumor grew so much, and they told me that in order to remove the tumor, they would have to remove all of the tumor. They would have to take out my bladder, a portion of my kidney. They would have to take out my colon. They would have to take out my urethra tube, cut a portion of my penis, and leave me with a urine bag, because the tumor was just that large. And I kind of wanted them to do it because I was in so much pain, but I didn't want to do it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I trusted God through this whole process, because there were some days when I didn't trust God. There were a lot of days when I was angry at God because I felt like I didn't deserve it. But I had to learn that there are some places in life that God will not elevate you to until you allow Him to mold and shape you how He wants to. And one thing, I'm not going to preach, I'm actually almost done. But one thing I want you guys to realize and remember, that through what I'm going through, that if you're going to trust God, you have to trust God all the way. All the way. You can't expect to tell God you trust Him and not expect to experience Him, not expect to experience trials that will challenge your faith. Anytime you put something in the atmosphere about how much you trust God or about how good God is, something is going to always happen, because God will want to, first of all, show you how much you really trust Him. And the enemy wants to take away your belief in God, and that's what it's all about. The word lets us know that the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. And we got to understand that the enemy isn't a physical person. So when the word lets us know that the enemy wants to kill, it's not always talking about killing your natural body. The enemy is about to kill your destiny. And he wants to kill the spirit that God has placed in you. And he wants to kill you spiritually, because to be dead is to be separated from God. So this is a spiritual battle. So every attack from the enemy is something that the enemy is doing to take away your faith. So you have to make sure that you're not only trusting and loving God when things are going right, that you're loving and trusting God even in situations that you cannot control. Always trust God. But back to the story. So they wanted to remove my bladder, my kidney, or a portion of my kidney, my prostate, my urethral tube. They really wanted to remove all of my urinary organs and some other things. And I wouldn't let them. Well, today, I noticed that a week ago, today I've been in the hospital 8 days. 8 days. I've been in the hospital 8 straight days. And I found out that the recovery for the surgery here, I could possibly be here 10 more days. And when I get home, it could take up to 2 months for me to feel like I'm back to normal. But God is with me even through the recovery. But I wouldn't let them remove all of my organs, because I just didn't want to. I want to keep my prostate. I ain't never seen it, but it's nice knowing it's there. I want to keep my bladder. I ain't never seen it, but it's nice knowing it's there. And so yeah, yesterday, before the surgery, the doctor came in the room and he told me, he said, he'll do the surgery to remove the tumor, but a lot of the tumor would still be there. And the tumor would still be there because I'm not allowing him to remove my urinary organs. Not only that, But during the surgery, there's a possibility that he could mess up my urethral tube, which is where the urine flow through the penis. And he would remove some of the tumor, but I would still have some of the tumor, and I would still have the cancer. And I was afraid again, and I had a little spell last night after my family left the room. But somewhere this morning, got to build my faith up a little bit. You know how sometimes it just take time. It just takes time. I'm sorry, y'all. For you to get in a position to where you can fully trust God, because things happen in life that are completely out of our control, and God will put us and allow us to go into some places that we feel like it's punishment, but it's God's protection. And they came to pick me up for surgery this morning. If I'm not mistaken, the surgery was about 5 hours, and the surgery was about 5 hours, which it freaked me out. I went through the surgery, and when I went to pre-op, I got so nervous to where I was so scared to where my vision started going in and out, and I started to vomit. I almost hyperventilated. But after the surgery, after all of that, and after the surgery, like, they got me in the room, and they got me settled, and my wife comes in the room, and she began to update me on what the doctor had said as far as the results of the surgery. And I got to say this again for the people that's just on. You got to trust God. And remember that in order to remove all the cancer, they will have to take away all my urinary organs, which is, fortunately, urethral tube, bladder, colon. They would have to remove all of my organs. The surgery was over a couple hours ago, and I got the news, y'all, man. I got the news that not only because of my prayers, and it didn't have to do with me being so faithful, and it wasn't because I was such a good person, but it was because I had a team of people praying for me, that as of this moment, the entire tumor is completely removed from my body. There is no more tumor. And not only that, but all the cancer is gone. And not only that, but I have all of my organs. They did not have to remove one organ out of my body. And I have no cancer. And I have no tumor. What you cannot tell me is that we don't serve a God that's able to fix any situation that you're dealing with. You cannot tell me that God isn't able to destroy and block every attack of the enemy. Because when he said that it was only by his stripes that we are healed, he meant it. Oh God. It's over. Oh God. It's over. You don't know how devastated I was. To eulogize. I eulogized my grandmother who passed from cancer. And exactly 1 month later, I got diagnosed with cancer. 1 month later, I was diagnosed with cancer, and now I sit here, I lay here. Just yesterday, he told me that after the surgery, I would still have cancer and I would still have the tumor. But there is a report. Please hear me, please listen. There is a report that God has about your life that supersedes anything that the enemy is saying about you. There is a decision and a preordained plan that God has for your life that cannot be taken away because people did you wrong. There is a decision and a preordained plan that God has written out for your life that no attack from the enemy can destroy. And don't get it twisted. It's not because you were faithful and because you didn't make mistakes, but it's only because God loved you so much and that he has a destiny for our life. But I'm hurting so bad, y'all. I'm hurt. The recovery is so painful. But I had to get on to tell you that because I know a lot of you been praying. Thank you for your prayers and thank you for the messages you send. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for blessing my family and I with money. Thank you. But it's a blessing to know that there's no tumor and there's no cancer. And I'm declaring over my life and over your life that as sure as God is real, that anything you're dealing with, God can heal it. Any hurt, disappointment, pain, whether it's emotionally, physically, God will do it. God will do it. God will do it. So, I'm going to get off so I can try to get myself together. But I just wanted to let you guys know about the miracle that God is so wise to where he directed the doctor to do what he did not know how to do. It was the surgeon that personally told me that he thought he would mess up my urethra tube and my prostate and nothing is destroyed. It's the same surgeon that told me that he would have to remove all of my all my urinary organs. It's the same surgeon that did the surgery and removed the tumor and the cancer without remove the tumor and the cancer without taking away the organs, and now I'm cancer free. But once again, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, before you go to bed tonight, I just need you to remember that God has not forgotten about you. God has not. God has not. And He will not forget about you. And although you've been where you are for a while, don't confuse the fact that you've been in a bad place for a long time with God has forsaken you, because He hasn't. Don't get so used to the pain to where you just make it a part of your life. That's great. So, I'm gonna log out, but I love you so much. God loves you. God loves you. And He cares. And thank you for watching. And thank you for listening. And thank you for your prayers. Just thank you. Facebook, have a good night. I'm probably not going to go to sleep. If you want to message me and talk, message me. If you want to. But just thank you. Thank you. Remember, once again, I said I love you guys. And have a good night.